How you doing, folks? So I did a bit more research than I did in my last video about Louder with Crowder's exclusive Michigan's Impossible 173,000 anonymous votes. So I found a report that he was talking about, and it does show here the mail-in ballots not counted for the city of Detroit, right? They have 46 pages of this. If we scroll down, or scroll down to 46, page 46, then we finally get the city of Allen Park, right? So we have, in this situation, we do have the mail-in ballots counted, unlike Detroit in the beginning of the list. He makes sure to point out a few areas that are hardcore Trump supporters, like Grosse Pointe, Livonia, and Canton. For as much as I appreciate that information, there's probably something else that he didn't get. For example, their population. We're looking at Grosse Pointe. We're looking at a population of 5,000. We're looking at Livonia. We're looking at a population of 93,971. I know this says 2018, but it's probably give or take. I don't know when the last time they did a census, but I doubt it changed all that much. Canton, 93,018. Now, when we look at Detroit, a whopping 672,662. But yeah, let's believe that we can count all these votes in all these different locations with different populations equally, right? Which is ridiculous. But Detroit did have mail-in boxes. Let's look at that. Looks like the city of Detroit has installed 30 drop boxes. Yep, folks, for a population of 672,662, 30 drop boxes. So let's look back at the information, because he'll start pointing out all this high number of individuals. So we know also that Republicans mostly voted in person. Conservative channels on here on YouTube made a big deal of it, tried to assert that because Democrats didn't have big rallies, that their rallies were smaller than Republicans, that for some reason they didn't have the same momentum. So it's not hard to put one and one together to know that the vast majority of Democrats would vote via mail-in ballots. So when he brings us back all the way down to the bottom, to the part where there's 0 registered, just the number of votes, and the NA, right? And he's saying that this is a total of 173,000 votes that are not registered, which is an assumption, and that this is somehow a red flag for voter fraud. Now, perhaps, I don't know how these AVCB areas work, if they work specifically for the same precincts as above or not. So we go to the top. Detroit had about 503 precincts, right? 503 precincts. When we look at the bottom part where they counted Detroit's mail-in ballots, they only have 134. So you have to think that a lot of these mail-in ballots got grouped in with other precinct mail-in ballots. So that's why there's fewer hubs, and there is nothing to dissuade us from thinking that these votes are part of the individuals registered on the top. So I want to rehash some of the information that I gave in my last video. So we have here the 2012 election where Obama won. We look at Wayne County, vast majority for Democrats, right? They have 595,253 votes. They won 73.1% of the votes. If we look at 2016, Detroit, 66.4% of the votes, 519,444, overwhelmingly majority of the votes in Wayne County. Now, if we're looking 2020 results, once again, overwhelmingly majority voting for Democrats in Wayne County. If you look right here, these are the individuals. We can see already that there is a hit that both parties have taken when it comes to voters. Both Democrats and Republicans have fewer individuals voting for either party than they did in the last 2 elections. But Democrats still have the majority with 73.31%. Now, I want you to look at this number, right? With Democrats, with historically, at least for the last 3 elections, having the majority. And imagine this number with 173,000 less votes. You would have to somehow explain how these 173,000 individuals, or up to 173,000, somehow fell off the face of the earth and decided they weren't going to vote. somehow prove that Detroit has been so disillusioned by the voting process that the vast majority decided not only that they weren't going to vote for the party that they had been voting for before, but none of the extra parties on the ballots. Not the Libertarians, not the U.S. Taxpayers, Working Class Party, not the Green Party, not the Natural Law Party. Let's go back to this whole thing where there's 173,000 votes at the very bottom of this list without anybody being registered. And for some reason, it's far-fetched to understand where they may have come from. Well, folks, I want you all to do a bit of homework. I did it, but I want everybody to verify it for themselves. But I decided I was going to count the differences between all these precincts, wondering whether or not it would add up to 173 or, less than 173,000 votes, because I wanted to be thorough with my investigation. Like certain individuals, counting the differences of individuals who were registered versus the individuals who actually cast their ballots on the top section. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm maxed out at 173, somewhere between pages 15 and 20. If you do the math, if you go one by one through precincts, you max out this 173 wonder number, this impossible number of votes at around page 15 to 20 out of 46. So to assert that there's fraud, given Wayne County's track record in voting for president, to think that there's something malicious happening here or underhanded, or that this is somehow proof of fraud, is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous argument to make that there is absolutely fraud or absolutely no fraud. Here's my thing. When somebody decides that they have something to do with fraud, I generally appreciate having some solid evidence instead of speculation. Because a lot of these claims that the Trump administration is throwing at all these states to try to get them overturned, they're being shot down. And in many cases, they're being shot down by Republican judges or even their own legislators. So folks, don't jump into the hype. Even if it's your favorite YouTuber giving you this information, double check it, man. Because there are a lot of Americans being caught with their pants down and you guys are looking ridiculous. Do the math if you have to. I stopped at page 15. Once I hit 173,000, I was like, I ain't gonna keep on going. This is ridiculous. I'm not even in page 46 yet. I'm nowhere near page 46. And so I have a new appreciation for individuals who count votes, because I was probably off by a few hundred. So in any case, I'll leave you all with that. This has been a message from your national idiot. Do your research. Take care, folks.